Good morning. David Kepsel, CEO and co-founder of EncrypGen. And with me today is my daughter, Amelia. Say hi, Amelia. Amelia has been with us since the start, of course. She has been an active and interested follower of what we're doing and helped inspire some of what we do. As you know, my wife and co-founder, Dr. Gonzalez, and I have been working on this now for almost 2 years. And it was about 2 years ago that we did a video with Ame when she was much tinier. And she was part of that video to try to get us involved in an accelerator program. So I thought I would introduce her since she's home from school today. Now, again, I'll be able to take questions through the only relayed to me through the marketing team, who are keeping me up to date on any questions that come from the YouTube channel. Whenever I've in the past tried to keep the YouTube channel open on my screen, I'm unable to continue because it ends up in a strange feedback loop. So if someone from the marketing team can confirm that my voice is coming through loud and clear and you're able to hear us, then I'll be very much obliged. If you don't have to stick around, or you can stick around and see how this goes. Okay, you can go play. All right. So first, confirmation that the audio is working. If somebody could please, yes, okay, great. Thank you so much. So I thought I would give you a brief update because it's been a while since I talked to you all, and there's a lot going on. We launched, as you know, our platform on November 6th, and we've had almost 3 weeks now of getting the word out slowly building the public awareness campaign of what it is our platform allows people to do. And there's been a lot of press, so we were very fortunate to have articles appear in The Scientist and in Wired. There's a couple more upcoming in publications that I've done some interviews for. But it was a pretty interesting time for a while there, while we started to get a lot of press and people were very excited that we've launched the world's first blockchain-powered genomic database. So that's been very rewarding for us, and we're seeing the reaction already in the number of files that are getting uploaded and the number of wallets that are being created, and in the various channels that we have where we are able to get the word out about EncrypGen and the gene chain and what it's able to let you do. Now, this is the holiday season, so expect a fair amount of new developments in the next couple of weeks, because last year Christmas was a huge time for the sales of genomic tests, and again we expect that to be the case this year. Companies like 23andMe are having their Christmas sales. You can buy genetic tests from them at steep discounts, and get your data in the next few weeks and start to upload it and set a price. So we think that the developments we'll be announcing in the next week or two will help to spur that interest. We'll also take advantage of the holiday season interest in genetic testing, and you can expect to hear something about partners when we make those announcements as the holiday approaches, because if last year is any guide, there's going to be millions of people getting genetic tests as Christmas presents this year, and that's going to be another rich source of data for our platform. So we're going to be gearing our ad campaigns towards that, and working with some other parties to make sure that we're involved in that new rush to get genetic data from testing. So, yeah, there are updates on the marketing. The marketing will be coinciding with announcements of partners and meant to capitalize on the holiday testing purchases that we're expecting again this year. Um, so you will, more questions are coming in on YouTube. Where are marketing campaigns visible for us to see? So as we launch them, well, a lot of our marketing is going to be direct email campaigns because we have spent a fair amount of time building up our CRM and we have pretty good knowledge of target population. But it's also going to be social through social media, and we'll continue to try to get high quality press like we have in the last few weeks from major international newspapers and magazines. Um, Regarding VC deals, I can't really discuss that. We will have to. I'll let you know when we get them. Other than that, you can be sure that our announcement and cornering in the market in this sphere has created significant interest, and we're doing several calls a week in the past few weeks with people who are interested in investment. But the next couple of months are all going to be about building the gene chain, and that's really where all of you also come in. So if you know people who've done 23andMe tests, or if you haven't done yours, if you want to do a Codigo test, or perhaps with a partner that is coming along, you'll be able to put your data on the gene chain and convince your family members to do the same. That's really how this works. We have to build the database one person at a time. And that's exactly what 23andMe did. They built their database one person at a time. In the first few years, it took them more than a couple years just to get 100,000 people tested. So, and now they're at about 7 million. So, over time, as people become more comfortable with it and familiar with their rights to the data, then that's going to become a source of more users for the platform. And we depend on you also. If you're already following the company but haven't put your data on the gene chain, the question is why not? The testing is cheap, and you can take control of it. If you use a company that does commercial testing, they all allow you to opt out of sharing for science, and you can take that raw data and put it with us. And that's really how we grow the business, and that's how we really grow the gene chain. A couple of figures I can tell you: people are already buying data on the gene chain. There's a few hundred files on there that have already been searched for or interest expressed, and there's been dozens of sales already. So in the first 3 weeks, dozens of sales is not bad. This is a start, and that's certainly encouraging that people are already using it and searching for and buying data. Some people I know who are genetic scientists, who I'm also married to, are also starting to search the data sets to find data and spreading the word among their colleagues and fellow researchers that this is a way to recruit people into studies that is low friction, that's low cost, and that's quick. So a little bit about the science of it, because many people don't realize that the scientific need for more data is hampered by recruiting people into studies. So a typical scientific study regarding genomic data means first recruiting human subjects, going through the IRB process of that, making sure that they are, we draw the sample, we sequence the sample or genotype the sample, and that all of the standard mechanisms of human subject research are employed. The innovation of what we're building is that it streamlines all that significantly. So people who want to do studies using genomic data can do so without going through the bureaucratic processes typically involved, and the lengthy scientific processes typically involved with finding subjects and recruiting them, and then gathering samples and then sequencing them. So we streamline that by making it possible for people who've already got the data, who've done these cosmetic or recreational tests, like through 23andMe or Codigo 46, and putting them directly in touch with the scientific market. That is really remarkable, and that's extremely valuable to scientists, and it's going to create a whole new way of doing genomic research that people hadn't had available to them in the past. So that is going to be there. There is the market for using the data, for finding the data and buying it, and that is going to be not a problem in terms of having people search for and buy the data. The real challenge is, of course, to fill the database, and we're working on that. So the email campaigns have already begun. The direct-to-consumer, direct-to-buyer emails are going out now. We're already contacting people and getting that traffic on the site. I think that's why we already have a few dozen purchases so far. Facebook campaigns are underway. We have a big Facebook following. We have a big Twitter following. And you're going to see those ramped up in conjunction with announcements about new partnerships, etc., too, especially as the holiday season approaches. So I still have this goal, as I've announced before, of getting 5,000 people on the gene chain this year. I still think it's reasonably achievable. We'll have to. We've got about 1,000 people on there now, so who knows? Maybe we'll achieve that. But it's good to have goals, and it's good to reach for them. As Milton said, a man's reach should always exceed his grasp, or what's a heaven for. So we'll keep reaching beyond our grasp, and hopefully someday reach even further than we dreamed. As for our next developments on the platform, I'll tell you where we stand development-wise. We are incorporating, I should tell you, Codigo 46 changed its data schema, which means that about half of the Codigo 46 files that we've had uploaded are still not indexing. By December 7th, that will be fixed, and those will get indexed, and you won't have to do anything to get them re-indexed. We've since gotten their new data scheme, and we're building out that functionality, so all that data will get captured. That's why it doesn't all show up when we do searches right now. And we're building new data schemes, so some of our ongoing developments about partners involve new types of data, and that's going to be integrated into the platform, so that'll be able to be indexed, and you'll be able to try out new tests and get data up there. And there are going to be new features for the wallet as well that are undergoing ongoing development, including the ability to withdraw your mDNA into the ERC20 version of DNA, and then for people who have no crypto savvy, the ability to withdraw as BTC. So that's and then eventually Ethereum. So these are all ongoing development projects. They are complicated, and we continue to work on them. The other important development project is to reskin the portal. So if you go to myencryptgen.com right now, it still looks very geeky, not very consumer oriented in terms of look and feel. But that's almost ready to roll out as a reskinned version of the marketplace. You've seen in the past, I showed you the market demo. It's going to look a lot more like that. The fellow who developed our market demo, .encrypgen.info, you can go there now and see that the look and feel of what the gene chain looks like now is going to end up as in the next week or two. So that's where we stand with development. Again, we're engaged in a lot of very exciting talks with companies that have access to large data sets and whose users are um, we're trying to encourage to get onto our platform, and I'll keep you updated if we ever have a new breakthrough with one of them. I will update you immediately. And in the meantime, you can be assured that we're working hard as we can to get a lot of data in there through partners and co-branding and other creative means of acquiring clients. See if there's any other questions. So, yeah, the key next release for technical development will be wallet upgrades and reskinning in the next, I'm going to say, 10 days. And yeah, the data browser for increased data security. Let me explain that. So right now, if somebody buys a file from us, they possess that file, even though it's de-identified and doesn't reveal who the person was. That file, we want that data to really be yours. So a key development that we have in the next 6 months in that time frame is to be able to, instead of transmitting the raw data file as the CSVs that you now can download, instead having a sort of browser that allows you to browse the data you've purchased online in a way that doesn't relinquish total control of that data to the buyer. And that would be ideal for preserving what we think is really important, your ownership of that data and your control of that data. It's always yours in our view. It's not the purchasers. They purchase a right to access it in our view, and having that browser would be a significant way to ensure that becomes certain and clear. All right, any other questions? No other questions? All right, so it's going to be an exciting Christmas season. I'm sure of it. We're amazed that we've been able to achieve what we have as humbly as we did. We have a team that is thoroughly dedicated, and I'm always grateful for them for all their sacrifices and all the time they give to this project and this company. And 2019 is really going to be an exciting time as we continue to pave the way for this new form of science and this new form of taking control of your data. Another question that comes in: what would be good advice for some student who's starting in the genomic field? That's one we should ask Dr. Gonzalez for mostly. But I think that if it depends greatly on what your interest is. If it's in medicine or in basic research or in bioinformatics, there's so many different things that you can explore in genomics right now. To me, as a sort of lay student of genomics through my company and through my relationships, I would say that the very little that we currently know about how your genes make you who you are physically and mentally and medically leaves open a whole wide range of fields you could study. For instance, we really don't know much about the connection of genes to mental health, and that's a significant area of research that has so many different factors involved that people will spend hundreds of years trying to understand those relationships. So, yeah, I would say email us. You can email me at any time at drkepsel@encrypgen.com, and I'll put you in touch with some scientists that I happen to know well, and you can discuss that with them. Any other questions? Let's see. No other questions? Okay. I should remind you that you can get cheap genetic testing right now at a real bargain. You should do that if you haven't already. You can upload that data now. You can always replace it with better testing in the future. And our future Um, Partners are likely to be able to offer that better testing at some point, and you can replace your consumer direct to consumer tests with that data eventually. But meanwhile, it'll get you going, and it'll get the data out there for the people who need it, who want to buy it from you. And it'll get you involved in the gene chain, which I think everybody should want to be involved in. Our whole family's been tested, by the way. My daughter, who you met at the beginning of the video, has her data, and she's got an account. She has an email account. She's has our permission to create an account and upload their data, upload her data. My son is 4 and isn't quite able to give his permission yet, so we'll wait on him. But there's no reason to wait now. It's certainly cheap and easy and available, and our marketplace is growing, so get on board. If there are no further questions, let's see. So when we give blood at, say, a hospital or prison, they have ownership over that DNA. Well, I'm not sure I understand the question. So if you've been to jail and you had a blood draw, they own the sample. The sample is no longer yours. Nobody owns genomic data. That's a real conundrum in the law. Right now, there's no way for anybody to exert ownership over the data. There's no legal mechanism for it. That's why we created this platform. So if somebody has taken a sample from you at some point, and they had consent to do it, they own that sample and anything they get out of that sample. But if you want to be able to profit from your data, we have a mechanism to do so through our platform, and that's why we built what we have. There's simply no way to exert a legal claim over that data otherwise. But we have a technical means, and we have a way for you to control it and to monitor it and to monetize it. So that's what we can do for now until there's some law or regulation that somehow gives you an ownership interest in that data. The technical means that we've created is simply the only way to do it. All right, good questions. Any other questions? All right, I'm going to wrap it up here because 20 minutes is about all you can stand to me, I'm sure. It's about all I can stand to. So thank you so much, and I'll see if I can do an update before Christmas. If not, be sure you've already ordered your Christmas kits and you're getting your data and putting it on the gene chain. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon.